Hi friends, Andrew Goodall here again from Nature's Image Photography with another video on the Panasonic Lumix G9. This time I'm looking at slow motion video, aka high speed video. It's a new feature for me that I'm just getting to know myself. Before I show you what I've learned, I would love it if you click that subscribe button to keep in touch with all the new content I have coming up on the Lumix G9. As a nature photographer who used to sell my photos framed in a gallery, I've never had much use for video. But now that my YouTube channel is growing, I'm seeing more and more potential, and one feature I find particularly exciting is the slow motion video. Now I have to confess I'm still learning to use it myself, so I won't pretend to be an expert, but I can show you what I've learned so far and show you some results. You can let me know what you think in the comments. So the feature we are looking at can be called high speed video because it's recorded at a very high frame rate. It can also be called slow motion video because when you watch it, it plays back in slow motion. I prefer slow motion, so that's what I'll be calling it from now on. It's very easy to set up. First, you turn your mode dial to create a video, which is the video symbol with the letter M beside it. After selecting that mode, you'll find a special section in the menu just for creative video. Go in there and you can choose your frame rate, either 150 frames per second or 180 frames per second. Remember, the faster your frame rate, the more slow motion the video playback will be. Take a closer look and you'll find there's really nothing else for you in that part of the menu. With slow motion video, your only option really is your frame rate. And this brings me to an important point. This really is a no frills video function. With slow motion video on the G9, it doesn't record sound. Well, that's fine for me because slow motion video is easy to enjoy, but slow motion audio is another story altogether. The other thing you lose is your autofocus. That's right, with slow-mo video, you have to do things the old-fashioned way by turning the focus ring on the lens. So be sure if you want to shoot slow motion, you have a lens built for manual focus. So since I can only use manual focus, there's another really useful feature that makes it much easier called focus peaking. With peaking, as you turn the focus ring, the outline of anything in focus turns blue, making it much easier to tell when things are sharp and when they're not. To enable focus peaking, go into the third part of the menu and select the Monitor Display heading. Then look for peaking and make sure it's switched on. Personally, I think I would really struggle to get anything out of slow motion video without focus peaking. Even with focus peaking, once you start shooting you may have trouble with moving subjects if they move towards or away from the camera. I've certainly had a lot more success with footage where all the action happens in the one place. So you can't record sound and you can't autofocus, but there are some creative options that work just the same as when you're shooting stills, and you can find them in the quick menu by pressing the function 2 button. You can use exposure compensation to dial up or down the brightness of the footage you're about to shoot. If you don't want to shoot in AWB, you can select the usual white balance options. And you can go into picture styles and select the usual range of options, including portrait for a softer look when shooting people, or monochrome if you want to shoot some black and white video. You can also use the G9's fantastic image stabilizer, and if you have a suitable Panasonic lens, you have the dual stabilizer, which combines lens and body stability for an even smoother video experience when you shoot your videos handheld. And that's about it in terms of setup and options. Now all you have to do is focus, press the button to start recording and press the button again to stop. So now I want to share some little bits of footage I've taken, while I give you some thoughts based on my experience so far, and remember I'm still learning. First, about those frame rates. Remember, the faster your frame rate when shooting, the slower the motion will appear in playback. So experiment and see what works best for different subjects. I'm finding 180 frames per second is great for very quick things like birds and butterflies, but 150 is better for slower subjects like people. Next, remember that every second you shoot is going to mean up to 8 seconds of playback, so record for 3 seconds and you have a video clip that's about 24 seconds long. Try and choose your moments well. If you start recording a subject that is sitting still and doing nothing while you wait for it to start moving, you're going to have many minutes of wasted footage. Whatever you do, be prepared to learn at least some very basic video editing because you're going to be trimming a lot of wasted time from your videos. Slow motion video can add some great new elements to your photography. It can add atmosphere and emotion, and it can give you a better look at how things happen in the natural world. But don't ever forget that it's still just photography, and at its heart it's all about the light. So do what you would normally do, try to pick the right weather and the right time of day and shoot in the best possible light if you want to produce videos that your viewers can really enjoy. And finally, if you're really curious to know why I suddenly became interested in slow motion video, well, it's for a little portrait project I'm working on. It's very much a work in progress, so if you want to see where I'm headed with that, don't forget to subscribe to see what I have coming up. I'm Andrew Goodall, this is Nature's Image Photography. Thanks for watching.